Hi children, welcome back again. Okay, in this video we are going to continue the last topic, that is adaptation in the plants. So in the last topic we have discussed till the adaptation of plants in the desert, that is in the dry area. So then next we are going to discuss in the different areas. I hope you have understood in the last video whatever we have discussed. So in this video we are going to start with the adaptation of the plants, that may be the trees and the small plants in the mountains and the hills, the area where the mountains and hills the plants are growing. Then in those mountains and hills, we know that is the height, maximum height of the land. So even on that also, in that place also we can see very tall different types of plants or trees can be grown. Then for example the pine tree and the fir tree. So as I told you, the mountains and hills, they are the maximum height point of the land. So that height point will be like that. Then the plants or trees may get the maximum of the sunlight and maximum of the rain also, because they are the higher than the normal land. So they will get the maximum sunlight also and maximum water amount also because of the rainfall. So how they are going to protect, or how they have adjusted themselves, even though there is a large amount of rain and even though there is a large amount of sunlight. See, for example, pine tree and the fir tree, they are like that. Those leaves are very small, needle like. They have a short pointed leaves, and inside the water will be filled, and then those leaves will not be affected by the lot of sunlight, because inside the water will be filled, and those have the shiny structure on their leaf, so that the sunlight is going to reflect back. Even during the heavy rainfall, as they have the small needle like leaves structure on the leaves, or leaves itself, or like that small needle pine like structures will be there, then those structures will not allow the water to fall on them, to stay on them. They will just go on falling downside, because that structure is not broad like this. So if the area is broad like this, the water can come and stay here, stagnate here. Because they have the very pine or needle like structure, water comes, it may strike there, it is going to fall down. Then this adaptation of leaves is going to help the plants on the mountain and hills, so they can evergreen all the 12 years. They can be evergreen all the 12 years because of the adaptation of the leaves. Because leaves have, small leaves will be there, and many different parts, and those parts are just like a needle. Okay. So this is how the adaptation of the plants takes place in the mountains and the hills. For example, pine tree and the fir tree. Then adaptation of growing plants in the coastal region. Again, in the coastal region means what? There will be a very speed wind blow will be there, and again very heavy rainfall. For example, in the coastal region, coconut trees are more, coconut palm trees are more there. Then we know that how do the coconut tree, structure of the coconut tree is there. Thick stem, long, elongated, thick stem, or strong stem. Instead of thick, I can say strong stem and flexible stem. If there is a force of blowing of wind, so the stem of the coconut tree can be it is so flexible, so it can tolerate the speed or the force of the wind. And even we can see the leaf of the coconut tree, how they are very we may see the number of strips on that, isn't it? Then those strips will not be affected by the fast or speed of the wind blow. Again, they are also very flexible. They will bend towards the direction of the wind. Again, they will straight. become straight. So this is how they are going to tolerate, because of their strip and long, elongated and strong and flexible stem. The tree is going to stand, and even their root is also very strong enough to hold the soil in that region. Then in those region, because of this adaptation of that tree, they are going to be strong even in the very forceful wind or blow of wind, and even in the heavy rainfall also. And even you can see the structure on the leaf of the coconut tree is like a shining, very shiny structure it has. The shiny layer it has, just like a wax it has. Even though there is a heavy rainfall, the water will come and stand. It will not going. Water is not going to stay there only. Just it will like this roll, and it will fall downside because of the waxy nature on the leaf. And even if it get the lot of sunlight also, it is going to reflect back, because it is of soft nature, it is of very waxy nature. That shining property of that leaf will reflect back the sunlight. This is how in the coastal area, the coconut tree is adjusted itself to that habitat, or to that area, or to that climate. Even though there is a heavy rainfall, even though there is a heavy forceful of wind blow, then also there are, we can see thousands of the coconut trees in the coastal region. Okay. Then next one, the adaptation of the plants in the marshy areas. Marshy area means the area where that area is always filled with the water. Always watery substance will be there, and there the soil will be very sticky, and very less amount of air will be there inside the soil. Then in this area, whichever the plants are going to grow, those all plants we call them as a mangroves. And the special character of this plant is that their roots, after growing up to some height in the length in the ground, they will start growing upside of the water, so that because in the soil they have very less air. If they grow upside, they can get the air from the climate. The roots, usually what happens, roots will go under the ground, no? But in this mangroves, the roots will grow upside of the water, so they can get sufficient amount of the air for their respiration. This is how the adaptation of the plants in the marshy areas. The marshy area means what? Always it will be filled with the water. So there is very less amount of air in the soil. So to get the air and to adapt themselves to grow very well, the roots will start growing upside of the water level. This is how the marshy areas plants have adapted themselves. Then last and interesting one is aquatic plants. Aquatic plants means we will there is a photo which will come in front of our eyes, that is lotus, lily, hydrilla. There are some type of plants which are going to grow inside the water. Inside the water, land will be there. They are going to grow inside the water. Those plants are called as the aquatic plants. First one is water lily. Water lily. You might have seen water lily plant has a very broad leaves and a big flower. That is okay. And very long stem which is coming from the ground level of the water to the surface of the water. Then these leaves always will be floating on the water, so that they will get enough sunlight. So that sunlight will help that plant or leaf to synthesize their own food with the help of the photosynthesis. Then hollow and very lightweight stem, long stem will be there. Inside the stem, the air is filled. Inside the stem of the water lily, the air is filled. Then the air will help to for the respiration or breathing of the plant, and the broad leaves, floating leaves will prepare its own food. This is how the plant is going to balance itself. This is how the plant is going to adapt itself to the water. Okay, and then next one is hydrilla plant. Hydrilla plant, as I told you, there are the some variety of plants. For example, hydrilla. As this water lily is half is inside and half is upside. The flower and the leaf are upside, but this hydrilla almost this is submerged in the water. This hydrilla plant is not having the broad leaf as the this water lily has. This hydrilla is having the leaf will be, the strip of the leaf will be there very long. They just look like a ribbons. So they can tolerate the force of the flowing water. However, the water will flow, even they are also going to bend that side, and again they will move to their original place. So they will not tear. The whole plant will not come up, plucked outside and it will flow in the water. It will not happen, because the roots are also strong enough to hold the soil under the water, and this ribbon-like structure of the leaf will help the whole plant to tolerate the force of the water, and even these leaves will prepare their own food, and leaves are going to prepare their own food. Hydrilla and water lily are two best examples for the aquatic plants. I hope you have understood how nicely they have adapted themselves to the water. Okay, I hope children you all have understood whatever we have discussed in this whole video, and if you not understood, please see the video again and again. Try to read out the textbook. It is very easy. You will come to understand. Only thing is you have to keep in mind or remember some points, some scientific names and the name of the plants and how exactly they have adjusted. For example, the pines and the needle-like structure and the ribbon-like leaves, and you can say broad leaves and floating on the water, and the hollow stem, and the air is filled in the stem. So like this, the important points you have to write to get the good marks. I hope you will do this one. And before ending this, I would like to give you some examples. You know of what I am going to give the questions. Write down how do the plants in the mountains and hills have adopted themselves. You can write down, and you can write down the adaptation of the growing plants in coastal regions. You can write very brief about the coconut tree, and you can write how do the adaptation of growing plants in the aquatic region, or write about the aquatic plants. So you can write these three questions. I hope you will do this one, and after writing that, read once again, practice it, because like that questions are only going to come in your examination. I hope you will do this one, and take care. Let us meet in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.